Hi, this is Mr. Van Kaplan, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a user account on Screencast-o-matic and talk to you about ways that you can use this in your classroom as well as have your students use this. First thing you want to do, you want to go to the website screencast-o-matic.com. As a first-time user for you and your students, you'd want to click Sign Up. Put your school email account. Since I already have an account, I'm going to cancel that and show you would log in. Okay, after putting your user account in and your password, you want to log in. And it's going to bring you to this. You can start recorder, and you can record it using the online program. My suggestion would be to download the program and install it if this is something you're going to use pretty often. And once you do that, it's going to put the icon on your desktop. I've even pinned it to my taskbar down here, you can see. Another suggestion would be to make your own folder specifically for this. And you can see I use a program called Inventor. I have a specific folder where I put all my files, save them as MP4s, and then I can share them using eBackpack. I can send an email, and oftentimes I post them to my YouTube channel. Makes it easy for students to find it. Once you've downloaded the program, you're going to see something similar to this. And what I've done, I've had to take a screenshot using the snipping tool because you're not going to see these icons while I'm recording the lesson for you. This is your toolbar to use. You have the record button down here, and it'll do a countdown of 3, 2, 1 before it starts recording. Then you can always pause it if you want to open a new file or if you want to change to a different type of software. The maximum time with the free version is 15 minutes. If you pay $15 a year, you can get the Recorder Pro program, and there's not a time limit on that. But anything that I've done has always been kept to around 15 minutes. On a couple of them, I've had to make multiple videos, but if you just title them Part 1 and Part 2, it saves it that way. Using the free version, there is a watermark once you upload it. You can pause, your microphone here, you can test the volume and things like that before starting. The size is 720p, and then computer audio if you don't want it to have the sounds from your software if you receive an email and things like that. And with the older email systems, Outlook, it would pop up down here and your students would see that. So I would always close that out. Now we've gone to online Outlook and you don't have to worry about that as much. But this is your toolbar here. You use the record button, and then you can, while you're recording, it becomes a pause button. If you pause it, it pauses until you start it again. So it's very, very user-friendly, very simple to use. And the next thing I'm going to talk to you about, some ways you could use it, and more importantly, some ways that your students could use this type of program. For teachers and students both, this program is a great presentation tool. One thing I've got opened up here, this is some previous work from some of my students that I had last year, and in my design and model class, they do a presentation or do a product, and they tell me how it's been innovated over time. So instead of them standing up in front of the classroom and presenting to the students, they could create this PowerPoint or Keynote, Prezi, and they could narrate it. Something that's very important when they do this, make them put the animations in there so they're, it'll pop in there the exact text they're going to read. So this is a pre-made presentation by some of my students. I went and added some animations on the first couple of slides, and then they would go to the slideshow from the beginning, okay? And their topic is Clocks, Watches, and Sundials, a PowerPoint by Nicholas and Jameson. When originally invented, let me resize it. When originally invented the clock, what did it do? Okay, the first clock was made in Europe in the early 1800s. The sundial was used as early as the Aztecs. It is not known who invented that, though. And then they've got some pictures that come in here with some animations. And then they have the second slide, and they would just continue narrating. They could read their title, and then read the text that they've put in there with the different animations. And then they have some more pictures kind of explaining the sundial as well. In science class, this could be used to present maybe one of Newton's laws of motions, or if you have your students research a specific organism and they were asked to present it or explain it, I think this would be a great tool they could use. In the math classroom, I think involving a specific operation or concept that they've learned about, maybe it'd be a good chance for students to kind of serve the role as a teacher, and they're responsible for teaching the rest of the class a specific concept, and that would let you check for understanding to make sure that they understood that concept, and also it gives them some practice with public speaking skills. Another way for students to use a program like screencast-o-matic, they could present a project. This is a playground assembly that students in my design and model class do. This is something done in Autodesk Inventor. This is kind of like the culmination project, and over here on the side you can see all the different files. Okay, these are all separate part files, and what I use Inventor to do is teach the students the basics, how to make basic lines, circles, shapes, change the color, put parts together, and this is called an assembly file, is what this is called. Now this playground is specific to me. This is what, when I did my training, I learned to create it this way. In my class, the students, they have some freedom to kind of make it unique and make it their own, but they could use a program like screencast-o-matic to talk about what's going on here, because from a distance it's kind of tough to see. You got a tunnel slide here, that's pretty obvious. Then you have a spiral slide. These are all called crayon poles, and they're just for safety so no one would fall off the edge. This is actually a climbing wall, and if I zoom in there you can see those are little pegs for you to put your hand and foot on to climb up the wall. So a student could use this after making a really detailed project. They could go in and kind of explain to me what's going on here, what they were trying to achieve, and what exactly each part is. Really good presentation software, and it's just different. The kids today, they enjoy using technology. You know, a lot of times we think that we should be the ones using it, but students are very, very creative, and they can do some really awesome things if you give them that opportunity, and a program like this allows them to do so. With screencast-o-matic, couple things. Suggestions again. You know, it's a great program. It's free. It lets you record up to 15 minutes. You'd want to create your own folder. That would be one of my biggest suggestions, either for you, the videos you're going to make, and then especially once students start sending you files, that way you can put them in the same place. It's very simple to learn and use. You know, if you just give a quick introduction and let the students practice with it, they would do a great job, I think. Some important tools that you're going to need: you're going to have headphones with a microphone, and the laptop computers, it plugs right in. On the Dells and Macs, you have to look in the back of the processor to plug it in. Getting a class, I don't think you'd need a classroom set of headphones with microphones, maybe 5 or 6 of them, and you know, the students could make a storyboard before they narrate it. A lot of the kids have a microphone like this at home. They use it for their gaming systems or their online gaming where they communicate with each other, so they could bring it in on their own. Once you've recorded your video, it's really simple. You just pause it, and then you would hit stop recording, and it lets you go through and edit it and check for any time issues, or if there's any voice control issues where you didn't speak loud enough, you can back it up and you can pause it and re-narrate it. If you make your own YouTube channel, you can make it where it automatically uploads to that. So that's very simple as well. And then, you know, there's no limit to how many videos you can make. With the free version, you can make as many videos as you want. And you could save the kids the ones that they've done, and you could always show that to students for good examples of what this looks like. And as a free software tool, I think it's a great tool to use, and something that many schools, students have a 1-to-1 technology ratio now, and a program like this would allow them to use that technology. You know, you could share it, and they could watch the video on their iPad if you were wanting to introduce the concept to them, and then they could make and present their own projects as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you.